Welcome back to the Qt Developer, or the Qt Developer, whichever you prefer. Today we're going to take a look at the QStack class. These are all a part of the Qt core and their containers. Take a look at the push, the pop, the swap, the top. This QStack actually inherits from QList. So now let's go ahead, take a look at it, and use it. So the first thing that I have to do is I need to initialize it. Well, actually the first thing I need to do is I need to make two includes. I need to include the QStack and the QDebug for debugging. So now that I have those included, I'm going to make the QStack initialization, and it's a template initializer. So I'll use an integer, some of my favorites, and I'll have a really creative name, and I'll call it stack. Now, I'm going to go ahead and push an integer onto each component. So, I'm going to push another one, 2, and I'll do one more, 3. There we go. Now what I'd like to do is I would actually like to go through the stack an item at a time, pop it from the stack, and then just get the size. I can do that using a while loop. So what I want to do is I want to check to see if the stack is empty, although in this case, not empty. So stack dot is empty. There. Fast fingers had a little typo. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the QDebug again to pop the stack dot pop, and I want to output the stack size. So I'll say stack size, and then output the stack dot size. This is a handy little feature. So now, when I test this out, here it is. It pops from the stack, there were 3, and it ends up with 0. And it tells me the number. That's fantastic. So, the next step. The next step, well, I like to keep things pretty. So why don't I go ahead and add a new line. I'll say QDebug, and then I want to use the Qt endl. This adds a new line. Typo. Need to fix that. There we go. So at this point, now what I'd like to do is go ahead, push 3 more integers. So let's say I copy and then paste. Push 3 more integers. And this time I want to actually get the top of the stack. So I can use another while loop. And I'm going to go ahead and check the stack is empty. That isEmpty method. I want to check if it's not empty. And from here, I'm now going to create a temporary variable that is going to be a reference to the stack top. Because the top requires, we could see here, the stack top requires a reference. So by doing this, I now have the actual reference for this variable to that top of the stack. Now what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to change this variable. I want to change it to multiply by 2. There. And now if I take a look at what's there, in theory, this should be, whoops, I'll go ahead and pop it off. There. Get rid of it too. So now, in theory, it should take whatever the top is and then multiply it by 2. What do you think it will do? What do you think that answer will be? Let's see if you're right. I'll give you a few seconds. Have you decided? Let's take a look. The suspense. That's right. If you said 6, you would have been right. Because remember, it's the stack. So the last item to push on top was the 3. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. I'm sure you're right. So now let's do something fun. The first thing I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and add a new line. I like it to be pretty. The next thing I'm going to do is I would actually like to play a little word game. So I'm going to make a QString, and the QString is going to be strqt, and strqt will equal qt is great, because I love qt. There we go. Now, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to reverse this. So what is it that I can do to actually take great, is, and qt and swap it so that it says great is qt? So the first thing, I'll make a function. And we're going to call it reverse. So I'll call it reverse. And in that function, probably going to need a string. So I'll create a const QString, and it'll be passed by reference, and I'll just name it S. There we are. Now, that was the declaration. So now I need to really start thinking. Well, let's go ahead and add this first, which I can come back up here. I can copy, save a little time, and paste. There. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to create a stack. So let's call it QStack, which is going to be of QStrings. Whoops. Of QStrings. There we go. And I'm going to call this, how about str stack string? There. Now in here, I think I want to create a temporary variable. A QString temporary variable. And I'll call it strtemp. And I'll set it to empty. The next thing, I'm going to have to traverse the string. So if I say for int I, everybody loves I, and I want to set I equal to 0, I think then I need to take a look and say, what is the length of the string? And then I'll go ahead and increment I. There. Yeah, okay, that's good. Then I need to check what I is. And I'll check to see if I is a space. So, well, not I, but S. S with I in it. So now I'm going to say S, I, and I want to see if that's equals to the space. Yeah, I like that. Then from here, now I think I'd like to actually push the string temp. So I need to push this to my stack string. Yes, I'm going to push this to the stack string. And what I want to push now is I want to push strtemp. Beautiful. Then I want to set strtemp equal to empty. There, so that got reset. Now, what happens if this is not correct? Then I need to traverse each of the characters. So let's see, strtemp plus equals, so I'm going to add each character to this string. I think that'll work. Then, let's see, I think the next thing I need to do is I need to push. What do I need to push? I need to push the stack string strtemp. Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. strtemp. Whoops. There we go. Now I need to check to see if it's empty. So while str stack string is, whoops. I want to make sure it's not empty. I then want to actually debug, and I want to debug what's on the top of the stack. There's stack string. There we go. And I want to take the top. That's right. And I want to separate it with a space, because those are the words. After I get the top, then I'll take the stack string and I'll go ahead and pop the stack string. Beautiful. And once I do that, that will be good. And at that point, I can go ahead, I think, and add a new line. Let's see, my endl, whoops. There's my endl. Beautiful. There's a new line. Now, let's see. Let's see what actually happened. What do you think is going to happen? You think it's going to work? We're going to find out. No, it didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Can anybody recall why it didn't work? I think I know why it didn't work. I don't think I called it. No. You see what happens? Got so excited, I forgot to call it. strqt. There we go. Okay, now let's see. Do you think it's going to work? Oh, nice. But look what it did. Qt is great. That's terrific. But it didn't work. It didn't print it in reverse, did it? So now, let's see. What happened? What did I do wrong? This is where I get to play the Jeopardy music. What did I do? What did I do? I think I found it. You know what I didn't do? I don't think I did this. I think that my mistake was right here. Let's find out. There it is. My goodness. That's what happens. You forget a little else statement. But, lo and behold, it was found. Nice. So I hope you enjoyed today's QStack tutorial. Please leave a comment, some thoughts, some ideas, and let me know if you were able to catch this. This was tricky. I forgot to do it. Sometimes I talk too much. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Leave some comments about any videos you'd like to see. Have a nice day.